I'm Derrick MacLeod, and I'm the head of project delivery for the Bellrock project. The Bellrock project is one of several projects that we have in the UK, delivering up to 1.2 gigawatts of operating capacity. In my current role, I'm responsible for management of all the key main packages, and that includes turbines as well as foundations, but also some of our other packages, including site investigation, cables, and our onshore and offshore transmission assets. I have a background in offshore wind and project management. So prior to joining BlueFloat, I was working on projects in the Far East, specifically in Taiwan, where I worked on building out the offshore wind capacity in that country and helping with government and other local stakeholders to build a supply chain and to build the first of several successful offshore wind farms in Taiwan. Prior to that, I'd worked in a number of projects in the United Kingdom for Siemens Gamesa. I have a turbines background, so I've worked mostly in projects in the UK, including the Hornsea 1 project, Racebank, Westernmost Rough, and when I got my initial start, West of Duddon Sands. That project, West of Duddon Sands, was a 3.6 megawatt model, and today I'm now working with models that are at least 5 to 6 times the size of that. So I've seen the industry grow as I've joined it almost 12, 13 years ago. One of the challenges that we face is adapting a specific kind of technology for floating offshore wind. And there are a number of different designs out there, and they vary in terms of their complexity as well as their appeal to various developers. And one of the fun parts of my job is we get to work on those kinds of considerations. What is the best technology? There's not a straightforward answer to that as of now, but one of the fun things about currently working on this project is we get to figure that out together as a team, in addition to some of our other projects within the portfolio. Offshore wind used to be a relatively immature technology, and our technology, unlike other industries, didn't change that much. Our approach to technological change was just to make things bigger and bigger and bigger. What we're seeing now is the introduction of new kinds of technology, including hydrogen, ammonia, and different routes to market. One of the key challenges, as well as one of our opportunities, is to figure out how do we incorporate the growth of offshore wind while adapting some of this new technological change. We have an opportunity here to build floating offshore wind farms that are truly at scale, thus helping to meet our overall net zero ambitions and targets. One of the key aspects of this industry is understanding the risk-return ratio, and there are many organizations that have failed to appreciate sometimes the complexity of these offshore wind farms, certainly in terms of how you implement them. The capacity for things going wrong definitely exists, but the capacity for getting things right also exists. And one of the great features of working for BlueFloat is that we've assembled a team of experts that have a long history in the industry who understand both sides of that equation in terms of building these offshore wind farms to scale and avoiding some of the risk that traditionally we've seen other operators encounter in the market. These projects are massively capital in terms of how we build them, and also in terms of how we spend the money, how we spend the funds that are allocated to these projects. One of the things as project delivery teams that we need to understand is it's not our money, and we need to spend it wisely. And when we build these offshore wind farms, there are various checks and balances in place. Are we, for example, looking at efficiencies, ways of doing things better? Are we avoiding some of the things that we've done in the past that has incurred, for example, non-conformance costs? So by changing our mindset, by looking at it as using other sources of funding, other people's money, we can develop the right mindset in delivering the project. One of the things I really enjoy about BlueFloat is that we have a wide, diverse skill set among our teammates. These skills are quite frequently complementary, and so many of us have worked for developers, some of us have worked for consultancies, others have worked for lenders and various banks, and that all comes together very nicely here at BlueFloat because we get to use the combined strengths of all our different experiences in building floating offshore wind at scale.